Hello friends, now we are studying symmetrical fault analysis of no load generator. Before studying symmetrical fault analysis of no load generator, we must assume few points. So we have few assumption. The first assumption is the voltage behind the reactance will always be constant. What does it means? It means the internal EMF will always be constant if we are taking one phase that have voltage ER and this is ZS synchronous reactance and this will be VR or VT. This is V terminal, voltage terminal. So what would happen if we are studying the fault analysis? In the whole fault analysis, this ER will be constant. If we are studying at no load, so before fault the value of ER will be equal to VR because there would be no drop in this ZS. So the voltage behind the reactance will always be constant. I mean this value of ER will always be constant. We can write the value of ER is equal to VR plus, let us assume, current IS. If the load will be connected, then ER can be written as VR plus IS into ZS. So if the condition in no load means IS will be equal to 0, so we can directly say ER value will be equal to VR. So this is the no load condition. You must remember, and we will also discuss when we will solving few numericals. So the voltage behind the reactance will always be constant. This is the first assumption. The second assumption will be the effect of capacitance will be neglected throughout the fault analysis. What does it mean? Before coming to fault, if the capacitance is connected like this, so if the generator is running, the winding have few capacitance, then what will happen? If the fault comes at the terminal of generator or at the no load transmission lines, then what will happen? All the current will be transferred through this short circuit. We know that current always follow the short circuit, then there would be no current in capacitor, means IC will be equal to 0. If the current in capacitor is 0, it means we can remove this capacitor. It means what will happen? We can represent this by an inductor, and also the value of XS is much greater than the value of resistance in the winding, generator winding basically. So this will be equal to XS, or we can say this is ZS. So what we assume, the value of XS is much greater than R, so we can neglect the value of R, as well as the effect of capacitance will be neglected throughout the fault analysis. So this was the second assumption. The third assumption is the effect of saliency will be neglected. Means xq is equal to xq dash is equal to xq double dash will be equal to 0. Means the value of quadrature axis impedance will be equal to 0. Means if we are taking the salient pole rotor generator, in salient pole rotor generator we have two impedance, that is direct axis impedance and quadrature axis impedance. So what we are doing is, during fault analysis we are neglecting the effect of quadrature impedance. Means xq is equal to xq dash is equal to xq double dash will be equal to 0. So these all are the assumptions. On the basis of three assumptions we can say that the fault current is highly lagging in nature. Fault current in highly lagging in nature. So how we can prove that? We know that we have neglected resistance and capacitance. So if any fault will come, and if this is the EF or ER, so the fault will be blocked by this reactance only. There is no capacitance, there is no resistance. So we can consider the fault current to be lagging in nature. It will be purely lagging in nature after assumption. Means we can say that the fault current is highly lagging in nature, because we know that the value of xs is much greater than r. So if it will not be the 90-degree case, then it will be near 90-degree, because it is highly lagging in nature. So what we assume, the first one was the voltage behind the reactance will always be constant. The second one was the effect of capacitance will be neglected. And the third one was the effect of saliency will be neglected in case of salient pole rotor generator. So what we saw, that the fault current is highly lagging in nature, means after removing capacitor and resistance it will be purely lagging in nature. So what kind of effect this lagging nature going to put on the generator? So let us see carefully. Under short circuit condition, means purely inductive condition, armature reaction of synchronous generator produces a demagnetizing flux. Means when our generator was at no load, only the field mmf was present. So the resultant Fr is equal to Ff. It was Ff because our generator is at no load condition. When the fault occurs, what will happen? The fault current is highly lagging nature, then it will produce a demagnetizing mmf. Means after coming a fault, if fault current is flowing through the armature, then this armature will produce a demagnetizing mmf on main field mmf. Means this will be FAR. So the resultant mmf will be equal to FF minus FAR with the given direction. So FR is equal to FF minus FAR. What does it means? Air gap flux produced by this resultant mmf. So when there was no fault, then our resultant mmf was Fr is equal to Ff. But after coming the fault, this resultant mmf has been reduced, and we know that the value of flux is equal to mmf upon reluctance. So if this mmf has been reducing, then what will happen? This air gap flux must have been decreased, but this will not happen due to the constant flux leakage theorem. Means instantly this flux will not reduce. So I am repeating once again from the starting from the assumption. Assumption 1 was the voltage behind the reactance will always be constant. The effect of capacitance will be neglected. The effect of saliency will be neglected in case of salient pole rotor generator. By doing that, our current, that is armature current, after coming the fault was purely inductive in nature. And if armature current is purely inductive in nature, this armature current produces a demagnetizing mmf on main field mmf. So the resultant mmf should be ff minus far. So fr will be less than, at open load condition our fr was ff, but after coming the fault fr become ff minus far, and you can easily see from here that fr value has been reduced. So if fr value has been reduced, means resultant mmf is reduced, then the air gap flux must be reduced, but due to the constant flux leakage theorem this flux value will not decrease. Why it will not decrease? Because if the fault occur, at the instant the fault occur, the extra current in field winding and a current in damper winding flow in a way that this damper winding current and excess field current will neglect this FAR. Means this FAR will be neglected by the current IDW and IF. So if fault occurs at that instant time, the FAR will oppose the FF, means the armature mmf will oppose the ff, means the resultant mmf will reduce, so that air gap flux should be removed, but due to constant flux leakage theorem it will not reduce. Why it is not reducing? Because when the fault is coming, then the current in damper winding and extra current in field winding is flowing in that way that it has been nullifying the effect of FAR. Means still after coming the fault our air gap flux is constant. So during these process what will happen, after few cycle, after 1 or 2 cycle, this current in damper winding will be reduced, mean it will be zero, and after few cycle the current in field winding, extra current in field winding will also be zero. So it will be once again at steady state condition or at no load condition it was. Before occurring the fault, our synchronous impedance was, this is leakage reactance and this is XAR. So this was considered to be XD, and if fault occurs, then what will happen? The current in damper winding as well as extra current in field winding has been flowing. So the reactance will be considered in parallel with armature reactance, because we are seeing the effect of damper winding as well as the field winding on this armature. So this impedance will appear here in parallel with XA. So this will be XDW and this will be XF and this is XL. So this would be considered as subtransient reactance. After few cycle, the current in damper winding will be zero. So we can remove that XDW and now we can draw XA and XF in parallel. This is XL. So this total will be considered as transient reactance. This is represented by xd dash, and this is represented by xd double dash. Subtransient is represented by xd double dash, and transient reactance is represented by xd dash. And after few cycle, the extra current in field winding will be zero. Then this will become xl, and this will become xa. So it was once again at a steady state, so it will be represented by xd. So this is steady state reactance, this xd dash is transient reactance, this xd double dash is subtransient reactance. This question has been asked in interview, that how xd dash and xd double dash has been developed. So this is all about the symmetrical fault analysis of no load generator. Thank you.